What's up? All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Board of Selectmen for October 19th, 2023. Pledge allegiance. We're here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Selectman Bloom would like to say a statement that he has prepared.
Yep. Yeah, I'll try to stick to the script. Lost some sleep over all this, quite literally. Got up 2 a.m. and just sat at my computer and typed for a couple hours and came up with something that I thought was worth reading. This is not a board statement. This is just me, a personal statement. So, I think there are things worth talking about afterwards, but I just don't want that to be misconstrued. So, all right. Good evening, everyone. This statement is partially a recounting of recent events from my perspective and partially a set of opinions. Let me also say that nobody else has seen this at this table. I didn't want to, I don't know, I just wanted to come in and do this. Partially a set of opinions. But in total, it is meant to increase transparency and accountability for this ongoing appointment and future board activities. I will request that this statement be included in the minutes in its entirety and that a draft of these meetings minutes be published publicly as soon as possible. To start off with, how did we arrive here? On October 9th, there was a normal meeting of the Board of Selectmen. At the end of that meeting, then Selectman Cahill tendered his resignation and, after he left the room, the board discussed publicly how to proceed. As it was a surprise to the board, the decision was made to have the chairman reach out to town council for guidance, and the chairman expressed his opinion that a swift appointment of somebody experienced was preferable to letting things drag out as we were already in budget season. No one else on the board expressed a different opinion at that time, so we were operating under the idea that we should find candidates who could step in quickly and with little assistance. The October 9th meeting was broadcast on Channel 6, but was unfortunately not broadcast on YouTube due to technical difficulties. In the past, we've been able to recover a recording of the video from Channel 6 and upload it to YouTube after the fact, and it was my belief at the end of the meeting that this is how it would be handled within a day or two. Unfortunately, given that the meeting was on Columbus Day, the Cable Commission had not set Channel 6 to record, and the meeting was not shared on YouTube, which I did not learn until the following Monday, October 16th. This failure of both the primary recording mechanism and its failsafe could not have come at a worse time, but we did fortunately have thorough minutes of the meeting, and a draft of those minutes was published within the 5 days allowed by RSA 91A. At this point, those minutes have not been reviewed or finalized, but if we follow our usual cadence, they will be reviewed at the regular meeting on Monday the 23rd. If anyone has a recording of the October 9th meeting from Channel 6, please email board members at warenh.gov so we can work with you to retrieve that and make sure the recording is uploaded to YouTube. The day after that meeting, on October 10th, the chairman emailed the rest of the board letting us know how his conversation with town council had gone, asking us to reach out to him if we had any recommendations on who to contact regarding the appointment. His email included the statement from town council that we would be making an appointment until March of 2025. I had gone home on October 9th and read the RSAs which pertain to making appointments to the Board of Selectmen and was surprised by town council's opinion, as I had understood the law to say appointments are made until only the next annual meeting, which would be March 2024. After I pushed back by email, town council confirmed that my understanding was actually the correct one and that we would be appointing until March 2024, 5 months from now. Also on October 10th, the board received an email from Janice Matthews with her resume and a request that she be considered for the appointment. Ms. Matthews had been in attendance at the October 9th meeting and was the only audience member remaining when then Selectman Cahill tendered his resignation. I know her as an acquaintance, having spoken a handful of times since I moved to town, and she helped with my campaign for selectman along with a couple of dozen other people. Given the request by the chairman for a list of recommendations, I reached out to Tom Flaherty that same day to ask if he would be willing to serve. Mr. Flaherty is someone who is immediately familiar to many people for serving on the Finance Committee, frequently attending and speaking at selectmen's meetings, and organizing events like the town play. Mr. Flaherty was another volunteer for my campaign and was enthusiastic about my goals to improve transparency and accountability within the town government. He also helped me catch up quickly on the specifics of Ware's budget early in my campaign, given his experience in that area. Based on their resumes and interviews, I believe that Ms. Matthews and Mr. Flaherty would both make excellent selectmen, but I look forward to also interviewing the other candidates to learn more about them so this board can make the best possible appointment at this time. Mr. Flaherty told me he would think about my question, but likely would be willing to serve, and on October 11th, he decided to email the board to express his interest in the position as well. Back on October 10th, after talking with Mr. Flaherty, I called Chairman Hippler to tell him that I had talked with Mr. Flaherty so that Chairman Hippler, as chairman, could put together the next agenda with as much up-to-date information as possible. In that same call with Chairman Hippler, he expressed to me that he had contacted Jack Meany and would be contacting Ricky Hood about the appointment as well. That leads us to this past Monday, October 16th. The board had not met since October 9th, and on the 9th, we had not set a plan beyond reaching out to town council, which had been accomplished. We proceeded through regular business, such as swearing in Officer Gilmet back to the police department and approving the policy on non-public minutes, which had been discussed publicly since May of this year. As a brief aside, I will be proposing an amendment to that policy before we conduct any more interviews. That proposed amendment will read, all non-public minutes shall be written to the same level of detail and specificity as public minutes. Since we have yet to approve the minutes from our interviews on Monday, this will allow us to add more detail to them before they are finalized. After finishing the other parts of our agenda, we moved to discussing the vacant selectman's seat. Chairman Hippler explained that we had received 2 requests for consideration by email and that he had spoken with 2 others. Vice Chairman Knapp added that he also had someone he wanted to speak with about the position. The board expressed wanting to have as much of the discussion in public as possible before moving into non-public, so the board could decide on a short list and avoid dragging folks through the mud who would be going back to their lives if not appointed. The board said it would follow that up with interviews of prospective candidates, and given that the 2 candidates who had emailed their interest to the board were present in the room, we would potentially interview one or both of them and follow that up with further interviews on Thursday. It is my understanding that this process was approved verbally by town council, which I have since learned was an incorrect assumption. In retrospect, this is what I believe was the most critical mistake the board made in this process. We used RSA 91A, Section 3, Paragraph 2, Subparagraph C, which states that a person's reputation must likely be adversely affected by matters being discussed. But if we are interviewing people who are fit to serve on the board, then those interviews should not be likely to adversely affect their reputations. Given this, I do not believe we should move forward with further non-public interviews, but that does leave us in a spot where not all candidates will have been treated equally. Because of this, I propose that before proceeding to any further interviews, we should publicly recount and discuss the 2 previous interviews, then go forward with interviewing the remaining candidates publicly. I would like to end up with 2 or 3 candidates we can bring to a public meeting for introductions and 10 minutes each of questions posed by the public. I calculated 10 minutes based on the average time per candidate, the most recent Meet the Candidates event. If the board is able to make a final decision after that meeting, we can appoint a new selectman, and if not, then we can reassess at that time. Again, this is my personal opinion, and that's just a proposal. On a personal note, I appreciate the vigorous feedback received regarding these proceedings and continue to agree that the town can always be more transparent. During my brief tenure, we have already accomplished much towards this end. We've hired a dedicated minutes taker for much of the town. Public minutes are now being posted again within the 5 business days required by law. Minutes from non-public sessions are now being posted within the 72 hours required by law. We've adopted a non-public minutes policy which covers how the non-public minutes, should be written, reviewed, stored, and released. We've adopted a policy on contacting town council, which is based on feedback from citizens during public comment. We began using town email addresses for the board rather than personal emails. We have pushed for other boards, committees, and commissions to use town email addresses as well, and this is beginning with the Conservation Commission. I have more goals I would like to achieve to improve transparency and look forward to working on them with whomever this board decides to appoint. These include sitting down with Cable TV Committee to determine what is causing our recording failures, pushing to use our Comcast franchise agreement funds to outfit the upstairs room so more meetings can be publicly broadcast and recorded, and ensuring that the town's website contains the latest information that is available and that it is easy to find. If you have further comments or questions about this appointment proceeding or any other board topic, please email the board at boardmembers@warenh.gov, email me personally, call me, or show up a public comment to know that your voice is being heard. That's it. That allowed me to sleep last night.
Okay.
So for minutes purposes, could you share that?
Yes, for sure. I'll email it to you.
Can I see the second page of that? I just have a question. Okay. I just wanted to read the non-minutes or non-public minutes part you wanted to put in there.
So, yeah, a few things going on. Most immediately, yeah, that C did jump out at me. That it says the reputation must likely, and I paraphrase it here, and I can read the. So C is matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. So, yeah, I think, and yeah, I mean, so that was the script part. I want to make sure I got all the info out, but I think a lot of it comes down to, we were uncertain of what to do. We made a decision as a board that, in my opinion, turned out to be the incorrect one. It was not malicious, it was not nefarious, it was based on the information that we had to, the best of our knowledge at the time. And I think we have an opportunity to correct that.
I agree with that. It's unfortunate that it spiraled out of control like it did. None of us have been in that position before, and, interviewing in non-public was not the right thing to do, but any interview I've ever been part of, that's what you did. So it was a mistake, and for certain people to think that there was some sort of political gain out of that, we're not sitting here to move up the ladder so we can be governor or president. We're here to hope that we had something to bring to the table, bunch of townies phrase was thrown out, I born and brought up in Montana. I raised my kids here, Sherry and Ricky are townies, but they love the town they grew up in, so they're just here to make sure that it stays that good town. You brought little kids here recently and want it to be there. That's the reason we're here. Mistakes be made along the way, and when it's just maybe a couple people that's angry with us, and we kind of can overlook it, but I think it kind of got out of control as far as accusations, and I know the only reason any of us considered reaching out was just to try to find someone that could fill that void till March that would be productive, and then that was it. So if anyone took offense to that, I at least personally apologize. That was not our intent as a, I never speak as a board, but I know that wasn't our intent. We can pick the next person in line, we pick somebody out of the crowd, neither one is illegal, and there's many opinions on both sides. So I almost think that's something we need to have a discussion about. It was brought to us, it was discussed that, perhaps we go that way, but we don't have to. And I guess to speak transparently as a personal opinion, the reason I thought maybe it wasn't the best idea was the town I work in, the very same thing happened. And they did pick the next person in line, but there was only two candidates running. One got in, one didn't. The one that lost by such a small margin that it was almost a 50-50 vote. So by choosing the other person, both people represented 100% of the voters. That wasn't the case in this election. There were 7 people that ran. The person that placed third, if we're going to put numbers on it, only won by 13 or 17 votes over fourth place. And the fourth place person is someone that had run for a second term and got voted down. So I don't know, is just picking the next person in line and the person after that was someone who already sat here and got voted down. So I don't know if that was representing the whole town's wishes, I guess. It's different if there was 2 people and we picked the other person. So thankfully it's only till March, and the voters can pick who they want. We have about 35 days left, as I understand the rule. So there isn't enough time to just hold an election. The laws do say the select board picks the next candidate, and we need to move on with government. This is a busy time of year, we need to move on with business, so. It's a personal opinion. I'd like to finish discussing tonight, I guess, who or how we're gonna pick the people to interview. We have to do it in public. But I don't know if we should interview any further, and that's me speaking myself. And if the board feels we should interview the people that came, then we will do that, and if we don't, then I apologize. I don't know, we made a misstep in one area, and it came forth, and I guess I'd appreciate if it would have been brought to us in a little bit nicer manner, but it wasn't, and now we know. Now, if it happens again, then us four sitting here, then we know better next time.
To add to that a little bit, we are not allowed to, and we do not meet between meetings, and we do not make decisions as a board between meetings. That's illegal. We don't get anywhere close to that. And so when we make a decision, correct or otherwise, incorrect or otherwise, on Monday, and do not meet again until Thursday, it doesn't matter how many emails we get, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It does not matter. There's nothing we can do.
We don't talk about it until then.
So it is not helpful to continue ramping up the anger. There are valid points. I think I've tried to address some of those points, but when we get the question of why haven't you done anything yet? Well, because we can't.
This is an off-night meeting for us, so our urgency should be.
If not for today, yeah, we'd still be sitting here, things would be piling up until Monday because that is how we are obligated to operate.
Ben, I got a question. What do you mean we shouldn't interview tonight? In general, or just in non-public?
Well, I don't think we can in non-public.
Okay.
I almost think we bring the other ones back and do them all in public. But,
So I tried to,
so to own up, the two that got interviewed last week, I'm actually the one that suggested, well, they're sitting here. I didn't invite them, but they sat there in the crowd. As someone that doesn't like to sit here till 11 o'clock, said, well, that'll speed that up. And we're gonna have one on Thursday with two people, and there'll be quick meetings in and out. There was no, they just happened to be sitting there, I'm sure because they were interested in the position and they wanted to be here. But I almost think that those, if they're still interested, need to be done in public too. I think the minutes of what we did, obviously are gonna be published anyway, but we can explain what the questions and answers were, but I think we need to redo it in public. My own opinion.
So should we wait Monday and bring all
We don't
five?
have to, we invited two people, and I
I think we need.
feel bad about that.
We need to carry them out tonight.
I
At the end of the day, 669-6-3 says that we appoint them. At the end of the day, we appoint them as a board, right, wrong, or indifferent. Or if we're taking boulders in the face or we're taking small pebbles in the face, we are the ones that appoint them. So, again, we are in uncharted territory, as fully stated. The board unanimously voted to go into non-public Monday night. We unanimously voted to come out, and we interviewed two people. I say that we give these two gentlemen that are here right now the same, and public, non-public, okay. My thing is, if you guys want to blame me for the misstep, that's fine.
No,
I work 50 hours a week, and I deal with a fleet of over 450 units. I tried to do my best to get the information here.
we all made a
And-
decision as a board.
Right.
Right, and I'm sorry I left out the non-public thing, but again, I've been here 8.5 years, and I thought that was the right route to go. So we moved to
did we.
go,
That's why
we
I
moved to
went
go
in.
into
We
it.
all did, yeah.
Yeah, we moved to go into it, and now here we are,
Yeah.
okay? We want to rescind it, we want to change course, and that's fine. Again, my thing is we need to be with the mindset that we still appoint.
Right.
I don't want to, we are in the thick of coming in the budget season. This is the reason why, and I remember when we left that meeting, and unfortunately, again, technical difficulty is not recorded, but I said, I will reach out to a few people, and y'all agreed to that,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? And when I also said, hey, if you guys got suggestions, bring them to me.
Yep.
And you did.
Yep.
So here we are, and that's how we got to this point.
I
Right-
still
right-
have no problem with that path. You know, we've made some, yeah, I think the decision that
It was all done
If I
as a
could-
board, so I don't,
Yeah.
nobody blaming,
no,
I'm
no.
not blaming you, I'm
All right,
just
well,
saying.
again, it's,
It
you know.
wasn't stated that
I-
anybody did blame you.
I feel like we're flip-flopping like a fish right now, and right, wrong, or indifferent, whether it's legal, I mean, I don't wanna say it's illegal, because it's not. We don't know where we're at, okay? But, again, I think we afford these two gentlemen their interviews tonight.
I agree.
And then, I don't know if having all four of them here, because the fifth person that Benji was talking about decided not to do it, he rescinded his idea. I don't know. Again, like you said, we have 35 days left, or approximately 35 days left. In 30 days, we are literally gonna be sitting here with papers in our hands with a full budget. I don't want to get to the 11th hour and say, yep, all right, now we're going to appoint somebody, and we're already in the thick of it. We need to do this as soon as possible. So I'm not so sure, and again, I don't want to not take public input on who we should put in there. Again, this is a public board. But when it comes to, let's put them all up there for a candidates night, I don't necessarily agree with that. Because it's not, unfortunately, we have been left in a situation where it's not in the public's hands to put this person on the seat. We can take their input, absolutely, as we should, but it's not, at the end of the day, it's not their vote.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody or discredit anybody's opinion, but we need to put somebody in the seat. We need to do it as soon as possible.
Well, one step at a time, I totally agree that we should continue interviewing,
Okay.
because it's wasted time otherwise. I think
Okay.
if we can do it today, we should do it in public, and if it turns out that these were, you know, it's better, I think it's better to do it now than to find out we should have done it now.
And that's fine. If we want to move to have the minutes amended, the non-public minutes amended to be detailed for this time, absolutely. To me, the discussion of of changing that policy is a work session night, just my opinion. Not saying we shouldn't consider it, but it should be a work session, not amended Monday on a work night. That's just my opinion. But we can amend them as we see fit. I think that the town administrator put out the non-public minutes in the timely fashion,
Yep.
right within the law.
Yep.
And I think that honestly, because she did her due diligence, we should do our due diligence here, and honestly, write what we need to write. At the end of the day, it's our responsibility for the minutes.
Well,
So-
and that's why with the new policy, like, we will review those non-public minutes.
And
which
that's,
I
and
think
that's
is great.
fine.
Yeah.
But I'm back to the selectmen, what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Is if we want to detail them to that extent, then we should detail them. We should write them detailed.
Well, I think
For
we-
this,
I
for
think
this
we-
particular individual session. For that individual session. Not moving forward, but that individual session.
You're talking about Monday.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fine.
Because,
Yeah. Well, that's part of what I think that we should talk through it verbally and say, do we
and
all
that,
agree that this is?
and
how
that's
we do it?
fine. That's fine.
And so that it's, we don't have a time machine, we can't go back and have done those in public.
Nope.
I think the best we can do is hash out,
Mm-hmm.
this is how it went. And part of it frankly is because both of them on Monday
We're here.
told us we were wrong and said, this should have been done in public. In the non-public session said, this is wrong, this should have been done in public. And I think, to use your phrase, right, wrong, or indifferent, they've been raked over the coals for something that they didn't agree with.
Okay. So, with that said, we have two gentlemen here. Who would you like to see first?
I think it matters.
I told Mr. Hood 7 o'clock, and here he is.
Easy as.
So, and Jack was, nope.
No, Jack.
Leave it open.
Leave it open, it's public.
It's gonna be,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Public.
public. So,
Still wanna
if,
do it?
if you guys are still okay with that, then, okay.
I'm here for the town.
You can come up to the podium, appreciate it. Again, I contacted Mr. Hood, and the reason I contacted Mr. Hood is you served 6 years, it was 6 years, correct? 3. It was a 1 year, 3 year, 1 term, 3 years on the Board of Fire Wards. So he is familiar with the budgetary process. He is familiar with how the town operates. Full transparency, his wife works on the fire department. I do work with her. Mr. Hood and I have shared very, very limited, but conversation on him making a run for this seat in the future. He didn't say this year, he didn't say next year, but he said in the future. I said, we can sit down, we can chat, and I can give you all the nitty-gritty on how it's done. But again, he has experience on the budgetary side of it, how departments run. In my experience, Mr. Hood's been very level-headed, and he is definitely, you know, embedded in the town, and I think he'd be a great candidate. So again, that's just full disclosure on where we're at, so. And the board now can ask questions away, so.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
We've been better. So,
Thank you.
So
yes.
since there's been so much talk about, important to get someone in for budget season, what's most important to you when listening to the department heads create their budget? Is, you know, they have this responsibility of making sure they have what they need, but not ask for too much, and where's your stance on making sure that they're responsible, but, reasonable budget, you know, that the department needs to run on?
Yeah. Well, a little bit about myself. Been here 20 years. I work for Honeywell International. I manage regional territory. I'm a sales manager. I manage about $35 million worth of territory. So that's a little bit about my background. Yes, the Board of Fire Awards. To answer your question, is definitely be fiscally responsible. I worked very closely for those 3 years on that budget for the fire department. You know, I'm in the fire industry, so looking at the budget and just discussing about what they actually need versus a little bit of, you know, just moving or staying within that budget, I'm okay with that, as long as you stay within that budget, but definitely have an issue with moving from line to line. But definitely has to be an open discussion, nothing hidden at all.
Your feel that, you know, we need to also look out for the department and make sure that they
Correct.
have what they need, not just,
Absolutely.
not just, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, definitely also what I enjoyed the 3 years I was there is that, you know, we made the budget to a certain point, and then at the end of the year, we did give funds back. Every year. We did give funds back to the, you know, I don't know, I won't go into detail of the amounts, but
Sure.
definitely, I can't remember the amounts, but it was definitely, at the end of the budget, we gave that money back to the town. So that was an important part at the end of every year. So if we did a great job in the budget, we could always give something back.
Do you think the budget's been done as well since you haven't been there?
No,
Thank you.
not because of what
Not
I've
you,
done.
say, no.
No, I don't, I think there's been some things done that probably shouldn't have.
A lot
or
of
were-
waste, some waste,
Yeah,
yeah,
and now it's hurting the department.
yeah.
So we're looking for somebody that can slot in and hopefully hit the ground running as quickly as possible. So I guess, do you stay kind of apprised of what's going on at the town level?
Yes.
We're facing a whole slew of problems, some short term. What do you see as some of the top priorities that we're gonna have to deal with? I don't know, I want you to say before March. What are things that you already see are coming at us?
Definitely the fire department, you guys taking over the fire department is gonna be a major task. Nothing that the board can't do. You know, you already manage a police department, but, definitely that'll be one of the number one tasks, and I think you might need a little bit of help on the board there, to bridge that gap. Not that I'm trying to run right now, but, what are the number one topics? I mean, definitely having another default budget is gonna be another tough one, for sure. Is definitely gonna be tough. And then, yeah, I mean, what other topics? Those are the only two I could think of off the top of my head right now,
Okay.
other than all this, rhetoric that you read up online and stuff like that. That's, I don't know how you guys do it.
Don't open up Facebook.
Yeah.
Is that easy?
No, I stopped.
Yeah, I did too, that's,
Do you have any thoughts on how to handle plow driver situation?
Good question. I don't know. Can we set up a training for CDL training for internal folks? Is that even possible? Not sure what the funds are. Could we do that to get some people locally trained?
That's a good answer.
That's what I'm looking at. I mean, I know in the fire department folks need to be CDL certified. I know back in the day, we used to bring in the state trooper. I don't know if that's something else that we could kind of revitalize to hopefully get some type of gap there for those snow plowers.
She has to vacuum.
Yeah. Got any more?
I did. Where'd they go?
Back to the social media, what, and this is a question that we asked the others, what is your take on, obviously, since Monday, the commentary has ramped up substantially, but in the past, there's been smaller topics have arisen that have gotten some Facebook, social media popularity, I'll say. What's your feelings on them if you were to be a board member? Is it engage? Is it put facts out? Is it leave it alone? Read it, take it in, and just kind of let it be?
Yeah, I definitely read it. I mean, I deal with many in my in the position that I hold. I deal with many organizations, many different types of personalities, even in the social media world with what I do for a job. So, yeah, I mean, I want to read it. I want to understand it, but at that point, it's just more information so that I can make a better decision or a decision for our town. But in the end, it's just information so that I can make a better conscious, that I can sleep at night.
But probably not engage.
No, engage? No,
Okay.
no. Sorry, I work in the corporate world. We don't engage. There's, legal. There's legal things, but that's where I do for Honeywell, is that, no, we don't engage anything public on our own.
I guess with your job, would you be available, obviously Monday nights? We do
Yeah.
occasionally have other meetings.
Yep. Yeah, I
There's
did
gonna be
let him
one-
know. I did let him know it's every Monday.
Yeah, and like
Yep.
there's one next Thursday morning that, I
Yeah.
won't say, I won't say it's optional, but it's kind of,
It's
whoever can
yeah.
make it can make it,
But that's not a normal.
yeah.
What is it,
Yeah.
Monday?
It's every Monday, but there's a Thursday. Is it next Thursday?
Yep.
Next Thursday, we have a site walk at the transfer station.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but that's an off day.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I don't think that's not a deal breaker, just,
Yeah.
No, I'm a regional, so I can make my schedule if there's something that pops up. I mean, I'll let you know if I'm out of town, but
Right.
I'm pretty flexible.
good.
That's it?
okay, yeah.
I don't have anything else. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate it.
you.
And I guess, sorry for springing that on you.
Yeah, I gotta say.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna stay.
All right. All right, and our second guest is Jack Meany, former selectman, current planning board member. Initially, and again, I do not like the word transparent. It gets overused, but my first thought was probably when we adjourned the night that former Selectman Cahill resigned, was we're coming to the budget season, we're gonna need help. We need a guy that, or lady that has sat on this board before, because we made the first step in the budget, which was setting the fuel rates. We are there. This is not April, this is not March, late March, and we need somebody on the board that knows the process, knows deliberative, knows, et cetera. So my first thought was Jack. And we are neighbors, but, I mean, we see each other once in a blue moon when I'm driving out of
Usually
work.
it's at 5, quarter to 6 in the, 5:30,
Quarter to 6 in the morning.
as you're
Yep.
driving, I'm walking the dog. So
Exactly,
it's
so
very
it's not like we're, you know, hanging out all the time. But I did reach out to Jack and I says, this is where we're at, and I asked him if he would mind, serving on the board, until March, and he said he'd be glad to help. So I called him up again and said, would you mind coming in so the board can talk to you? And here we are. So, thank you.
My pleasure. Just to give you a little background, I sat on that board for 6 years. I was the representative to the planning board for that time. Prior to moving back to Ware, I'd lived in Ware, moved out, moved back again. I was on a board of selectmen in another town for one term, and I sat on their elected, it was a budget committee. That was an elected position for 9.5 years. And the half year was then I took the selectman's position. So I do know something about the budgets. I've been involved in government on this local and state level for most of my adult life. And if something I can do to help, then I would be more than happy to do that. I don't have a horse in the race as far as running for election again come March. It's not even on my radar. I'm just here to help fill in the
That'd
seat.
be my first question was,
No, I'm not. No.
no,
I have my sanity back.
all right.
And my Monday nights. You know.
I'll figure out that in March.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
I guess, oh, no, okay.
No, go
I
ahead.
was gonna ask, the only one I asked, and I asked the same question to the two that we did non-public, is just what's important to you about creating a budget with the department?
Make sure that the budget is fair for everybody, and you're gonna have people cry. So, I mean, if you can't please everybody, then you're doing your job. That's basically the way to look at it, because not everybody's gonna get everything. But you've gotta look at what they need, what the needs are, not what their wants are. And that's always been the big thing. You gotta take care of your employees, that's the big thing. I mean, retention in this day and age is ridiculous. You can't keep people. You know, I work for the state part-time, for the Department of Transportation. They cannot get people to come to work. Even offering them $10,000 sign-on bonuses, it's tough. You know, every department is, I don't care where you go in the state, town, local, you know, county or state positions are almost impossible. So we have to do something to get people to fill the positions. Highway is the, as you asked the previous candidate, is the big concern, to get plow drivers. We've got to provide, we're mandated to provide these services, so we've got to find a way to do it. I don't know what to do to enhance it. We pay better than the state does, I know, in this town, and not as much as some other towns, but we're right about in that probably lower middle part that we're paying pretty good money with the benefits and everything else. Do we bump it up? Do we try to get more people? I see the present road agent is, or highway superintendent, whatever, is trying to campaign. He's got the signs out, you know, the message board's trying to get it. It's online, so it's something that I don't know what else to do, you know, but we've got to try and get more people. That's the big thing. You got to take care of the people that we have, and plus also service the public. That's the big thing we've got to do. And make sure they have a budget so they can, highway is always the toughest one, because salt in the wintertime, fuel, we ran into the fuel thing a couple of years ago. I remember the discussion, it was in November, if we didn't put the money aside or keep a certain money back instead of returning it, we were gonna be in a crisis, and my prediction was right. We almost ended up in the negative for paying for fuel, and then the same thing with salt. I mean, we had a nice winter, it wasn't so bad, but those are the things you always have to keep ahead of with the budget. Plus, at the same time, you also have to look out for the taxpayers. You know, also, I'm a taxpayer. I don't want to come in here yelling my tax dollars are being wasted, because I don't think they are. I think that, we do pretty well in this town with our budget, and we have an excess at the end of the year lots of times, but that's because our department heads are very capable and they watch it, and, we work good together, we interact together, and that's important.
Yeah, you get your question.
Probably a little longer than you wanted, Ben.
That's all right.
So I guess same question that I asked Mr. Hood. So what problems do you see on the horizon that would come up between now and March? That you'd be able to, one, what problems you see, and two, how would you be able to help
You
solve them?
you can't always plan for the problems. All you can do is hope that you're proactive enough that certain loopholes, you're not, or certain traps you're not gonna fall into. The biggest one is money. I mean, how much overtime money are we gonna need for the highway department? That's how bad are the storms? Are we gonna have enough to, you've already set the fuel prices, so you have an idea what you got. Are we gonna have enough to put fuel into the building to keep heated? Are we gonna have enough to help people in this town? That's a big concern. I mean, the budget, once you get it set and you get all the fine points worked out, then you just follow it, and thank God there's a good finance administrator in this town that she can turn around and give you down to the penny almost weekly, what you are looking for. That's the biggest pitfall in any town, is money, is the budget. That you have enough coming in, and that you're able to take care of your accounts payable and your accounts receivable, like a business.
And I guess what would you tell somebody, you're sitting over here, somebody does come in and says, hey, I'm a taxpayer, wasting too much of my money. What can you tell them at the end of the day?
That seems to be a constant theme every week from certain people. You're wasting my tax dollar. Well, go look at your tax bill. We're not wasting any money. This town does not waste a whole lot of money, people's tax dollars. Our tax rate, if you look at the tax rate across the region, we're one of the cheapest ones around. Where you're looking for, which people don't take into account, is the school budget. That also reflects on it. We don't have any control and no say over that. So all we can do is just watch our own internal budgetary things.
And I guess same question, you said that you're working part-time, so you'd be available, obviously, the Monday.
I've sat in that chair. I've worked for DOT now for 10 years, and during that whole time of my 6 years, I was there, and I don't think I missed.
You didn't miss half a dozen.
I don't think I missed a half a dozen in the 6 years that I sat there.
All right. So yes.
I could tell you the only time that I would miss now is, I know my wife and I are taking a vacation in December. End of December, 1st of January, right around New Year's, and then come back like just after New Year's. So if there's anything right after Christmas to the beginning of New Year's, that's the only time I'd miss.
Good to know. Sherry, any questions?
I don't, because I know Jack's quite capable.
Sherry and I sat next to each other for
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, couple years.
a couple of
Yeah.
years.
yeah. I don't have any questions. He's more than capable of doing the job.
Like I said, I don't have any horse in the race. I just do the best job. I put into a job, and I take the oath, and I abide by the oath, and do the best I can for the people that put me in there, that's all. Try to give them the best bang for the buck, so to speak.
Anything else?
I guess, do you have any thoughts about the fire department kind of rolling up to us?
In March?
Well, I was here when they started that. I was still sitting there, and they ran it through. It was my last time around, but they, that's really the fire department's choice. The law said they had the Board of Fire Wards, they voted to dissolve it. It's gonna come here, and it's no different than
Another department.
any other department. They have every department has its own quirks. The highway department has their stuff because, and people don't look at it, but the highway department are first responders, just like the police and the fire. Because if they don't go out there and clear the road, they're not getting there. So actually, they're the front line in a lot of certain times of the year for this stuff. The fire department has their job. They do an excellent job, and they're mandated to do certain things. And I don't know of a fire department that I know of, and all the contact I've had with them between what I did in my previous life, when I worked for the state full-time, and had a lot of contact with fire departments, to now having it, that I don't see any of them having any issues. There's no problems. They have their own things that they do, like the police department has their own stuff they're mandated to do. And I can tell you that the group down here now is a good bunch of guys to work with. They always have been. So I think that, you know, you get in discussions with them and, you know, you're gonna find out that they're really, you know, up to snuff, and they're gonna do everything they can, and you're not gonna have any problems with them. There will be no problems. It'll be a smooth transition.
Ricky, can you crack the door for us? Just in case somebody sees us on YouTube and wants to
Yeah.
come on in,
It
sees
sounded like there were
sees the
people.
door. It did. It sounded like those people. I know I know the maintenance department's here, but I just want to make sure.
That's, you know, you know, you have internal, I don't care where you go, you have internal policy strifes with the personnel. That's between them, you know, it doesn't usually get to the Board of Selectmen, not unless it really gets out of hand, but that's why we hire managers to run each department, whether it be the highway superintendent, the police chief, fire chief. You know, those are the people we depend on. We're not allowed by law to micromanage them. They have to do their own thing, then they come to us. If they're out of control, it's different, but no, there should be no problem with anything that I can see with that fire department.
And social media.
Don't have it, don't want it, I got no use for it, to be honest.
Okay.
There's too much information, and it's usually all wrong.
Okay.
So I don't engage in it, I don't even have it, I could care less.
I think that's a good answer.
Yep.
So,
As the kids say, TMI.
all right. Anything else for Mr. Meany?
No?
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna have my dinner now.
Sorry for
There you go.
holding you
Oh,
guys.
thank you.
Sorry for holding you
Appreciate it.
guys up.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Ricky.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
All right, so what do we want to do from here?
Yeah.
I guess is the question. It sounds like with, of course, yeah. It sounds like with current,
You're gonna leave it a little bit.
yeah,
Oh, you got it. There we go.
taken care of.
Shouldn't lock, yeah,
Yeah,
just leave it just
leave it
crack.
just ajar, yeah. Perfect. I think that with current change of direction from the board, I think that we probably are not in a position to make a decision tonight. But it leads me to the next question of when are we gonna deliberate to figure it out? I mean, we can deliberate now, it's,
Can I ask a question before, that would come before that? I still feel like the other two should be done in public at that podium.
okay.
Do you guys not? I'm just speaking as
That's,
one.
it's fine, we can.
I don't think it's unreasonable. I would like to
Still think we need to.
at least
send
talk
it-
through, because, you know, it's been a couple days.
Yep.
It's still, I think, mostly fresh in our minds what they both said in non-public. If we can at least repeat it and all
Put
agree,
that
like, yeah,
out.
that's how it went down.
Yep,
I
I agree
think
with
that would be
that.
worth doing today.
Yeah.
And then if we decide that they also come back, okay, sure, that's,
Right.
I wouldn't say no to that.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I asked the same budget questions I asked these two, and, I'm trying to remember the response of, Tom, I
Well,
believe, basically said that, you know, kind of honed in on the highway department and seeing what they need to get us more people, I believe, and,
We also talked about maintenance. being
Maintenance on
a-
vehicles
yeah,
and-
Don't cut the budget to the point of leaving yourselves a bomb in a few years, so to speak. I'm
Right.
paraphrasing that.
Right. Take care of the equipment.
Yeah. We did talk to Janice first.
Yes.
We talked to each of them no more than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
which is
15
about-
max,
yeah.
max.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so Janice talked about, so she was here, when former Selectman Cahill resigned, and she decided that she wanted to put her name in.
She was
sent
our
us-
first contact.
Yeah, she sent us her resume, which was very impressive. And like I said earlier, we've interacted, kind of like you were talking about with Ricky, and I guess really both of them. We've interacted a handful of times, not, you know, super deep. But so this was the most detailed conversation I've had with her, and I thought she she exuded confidence and competence. I think she seemed very, very smart, and like nothing would shake her. What did she have?
Okay.
Well, she's got a lot of experience. I mean, she's been in
She's on the
the,
finance committee currently, right? That was one.
She served 1 year in the finance committee as vice chair.
yeah,
Yeah, and both of them said that they would step down from that if appointed. Likewise, Tom said he is chair of the town Republican committee. So he's the chair, and he said
Right.
he would resign that
Resign,
position as
yeah.
well.
yeah.
So they were both very clear on, separating any potential conflicts of interest. We did talk with Tom. Let me get it right. You're the president?
I'm the
He's
president,
the vice president of the Historic
Historical
Society.
Society.
That is a group that has
the private
no
group.
affiliations with the
Town.
town government. And so we talked through that, if anybody thought there were potential conflicts, and it felt pretty low down the list, in my opinion.
Yep.
That there have been very few things, and especially if we're looking between now and March, that could potentially come up, and if so, they could either both recuse and still have an odd
Quorum.
number to vote. But that seemed very unlikely.
I mean, I asked my same questions about social media, and they were both roughly the same answer of they read, but they don't engage. Mr. Flaherty did come out and say that he did engage in one, but he then rescinded after rethinking his comments, that they probably were not in the best interest.
I think he removed everything.
Yeah, I believe he did, so.
And really, because that's a question you'd asked, Benji, about, because there was a post regarding, stuff at the dump. And it was Tom's opinion that he had said something about, hey, because people were saying, how do we get a selectman recalled? How do we go through all that? And they were kind of like we're seeing now, ramping up and up and up and up and up.
And he was just trying to put
And he was
facts out there, he
saying-
said.
Yeah, and so, yeah, his take on it was, hey, this is the only recourse that you do have available. Here are the facts.
It was a fact, right?
Yeah.
Right. But he later said that he probably shouldn't have even
Yeah.
done that.
Right.
And he did say on his own, I think even before the
Yes.
question, that if he were on this board, we would just
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Yeah, you
not
just-
engage.
at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about, he owns his own business. He's a contractor.
Yeah.
I don't think he said it, but I know he writes software.
yeah, it's a software.
And both of them said that they could devote the time. When we did ask them about their schedules, Ms. Matthews is retired. And again, also, Mr. Flaherty said he could reconfigure his schedule similar to Mr. Hood,
Yeah.
so.
And I think one thing they didn't bring up so much as Mr. Hood did, but we did, early on when I first came on the board, we did have the they didn't have the fire wards
Oh, we had fireworks.
right from the beginning,
Oh, yeah.
because we used to do the payroll.
1978, you had him since.
Yeah.
We had payroll and stuff.
So one of the things that I came on with was the fact that I believed, and I still believe at the time, that the way that fire department is structured under RSA 154, an organization, that the Board of Fire Wards should have had the finances.
Right,
At the
okay.
time when I started here, the Board of Selectmen had the finances.
Finances,
And that was the decision was made to hand them over to the fire department.
Yeah,
Just their section of the budget.
Right.
But they became responsible for their budget.
yeah,
But yeah, no, they've always been around, it's just
Yeah,
they didn't have their budget, and they do now.
right.
So, and that was about the time that Mr. Hood was on, was the time that they got their budget.
Budget, okay.
So line items and, developing a budget that worked. Obviously, they worked hand in hand with the chief and the other fire wards, but, yeah, making a budget.
Payroll and all that.
And
Correct.
to bleed into that a little bit, he seemed really sharp. He presented himself well. He had good answers to the questions we're asking. Does have good experience.
No, I agree
Well, he
with
works
that.
in corporate, makes a big deal. You see a lot more stuff there, a lot different.
Well, and he's been involved with the, you know, with the budget has been said a few times already. I like that about him. A Couple things I like about Jack is he has been here. The person that I'd reached out to, I'm not gonna say name because they didn't want it, and there's no sense in being dragged through the mud and say, oh, it was a person that was not, had zero intentions of running for board member next March. And, I thought it would be less controversial if it didn't appear, you know, if it wasn't someone that was gonna run. Then we couldn't be accused of, all
Yeah, you
we helped
said
them give
them
votes
there,
or something.
yeah.
Which isn't the case anyway, but that's why I was interested, and Jack says that's his, so that's another interesting thing for me to Jack. The one thing that.
To build off of that, Ben, before we get away from that, was Mr. Flaherty and Ms. Matthews also said that they were considering running for the position.
Along with Mr. Hoodry.
And Mr. Hood, yes. Jack, I think, is the only one that has said, no, he is not interested in doing another term. This is just to fulfill the vacant spot to 24. But all of them, all of the three had at one point or time, either now, next term, or whatever, are contemplating throwing in their hat in the ring.
So I guess that was the only one up Jack had over the other three for me. The one only negative, I guess I could pick, you know, is there's still an ongoing issue from way back, with right to know requests and stuff that sometime involve him, which would not affect his job here, but just, it'd be all negative. I guess we're gonna talk positive, negatives about all of them. Thinking out loud.
I think they
Be
all,
accused of keeping something inside here. I'm one not to say something if it looks like mudslinging is not gonna amount to nothing. So sometimes I say it and don't say stuff, and now we, you know, been accused of not saying stuff because we're, you know, doing inside things. So everything I had in my head before I didn't say, I've said now. Those are the reasons for my thoughts. And when we get done talking about them, I would like 2 minutes to talk about the other candidates and put that out there, I guess.
I'd say so I guess I don't have, I understand where you're coming from. I don't have a huge problem with picking somebody.
I don't have a
who said
huge
they're
problem either, you know.
It's weird to talk about the politics side of it, but it has been coming up a lot this week. I did run on a platform of fresh blood, so to speak. So for me, that's a benefit to
the three.
the three. I think that there was a lot of desire for that. I think that's partially why both of us got elected. Shake things up a bit. And I think that could be, I think if we did appoint Mr. Meany, that could be potentially a step backwards.
But again, you know, we've also stated as a board that we want somebody that's turnkey ready.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So that is a step backwards to begin with because they have the experience, right? So,
I don't think there's any huge negative things about any of them.
No.
Just, we gotta pick one individual. The rest of you don't see that it's necessary to interview the other two, then I'm not gonna throw a fit. If we were to take a vote, I would say we probably ought to. It's gonna take more time. It's bothering them again. However, they both came to us wanting the job.
So maybe we should offer that.
It's giving them two chances to interview, everybody else wants, well, I don't, damn if you do, damn if you don't, but, at least the rest of the public could see their
See the
mannerisms
interview.
up there, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking 20 minutes at most, so we might be able to do
make
it
a
Monday
decision
early.
After that, I mean, I don't know. Next week's public, it's not work session, it's regular session.
no, it's regular session.
So
And
we
I don't, I
could,
possibly not, still know, first week in November, so if I'd be here that Monday or not, so.
Yeah, and
but not this week. You're gonna be, Everybody's gonna be here this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6:30 is my earliest I can make it here, so I can't do it early.
No.
No.
No,
I
Sherry
guess
makes it
thinking out loud, asking if that was the case, is if be best to not be super late and go to work session, but I think that's gonna move along. I'm not 100% sure I'll be here for that. So I'm almost thinking we oughta try to make a decision.
Yeah, I'm not here the
He's
29th
not here for
either.
the work session either, so you wouldn't have a meeting.
We probably should do it Monday sometime, right?
Yeah. So how can we,
As far, can we talk, so are these four the ones we're gonna choose from? Are we considering other candidates? Just asking out, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, I'm just, that seems to be the controversy.
I think Ricky continues to nail it on the head, that we need somebody that can step in and understands budget issues to get us through March and has stayed in touch.
That was one thing that, for the next person in line, I guess, number 3, if we're gonna call it that, haven't heard, seen, the individual still lives in town, I mean, don't know,
Yeah.
heard nothing since won't vote, right? I mean, we even see number 4 sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But we never seen the third place since, so I don't know if they're even still interested, if the,
But to
you
me,
really,
again,
really want it, it seems like you'd be around a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, so I took to heart all of the, openness comments. I am willing to take flack on the, how did you come to your candidates? We came to, okay, sure. We have talked about this publicly. I think we're now, meeting those obligations. So we've talked to 4, all 4 of them, I think came across really well. I don't think we need to scramble and find somebody else.
I would agree with that.
again, it's up to us. If we're happy with the 4 candidates, I think that we stick with them. And again, to Salem's point, we need somebody that has kept their pulse on what's going on in town. And I think that number 3 just has not. So,
that's what I was getting at, too.
yeah, so to try and seat a person that their day one would be budget day one, I think is completely unfair to the rest of us.
Something we haven't said today that you've said previously, and I think it's worth repeating some of the stuff that happened in that October 9th meeting in public, because it's kind of disappeared.
Yep.
You talked about, you've done this before the most, budget. Sherry, you've done it before. You've been on the other side of the table. It's totally new to me. We're gonna bring in somebody, and so you as the chair are kind of gonna be leading
Yeah.
at least the 2 of us on this side of the table fresh, and to add a third person then puts a burden on you as the chair and Sherry as the other experienced board member, which I think would be unfair.
Right.
Unfair to that person as well.
As
but
well,
unfair.
yeah, because
That is something that you did say.
Yeah. yeah.
See, I think that meeting that got lost, I know for one, I just kinda took for granted, I forgot that it didn't air and that not everybody knew about that.
I think,
So
yeah,
I just-
that
That's
is
all
a,
it was. It
yeah.
certainly wasn't a secret that, or trying to keep a secret that Kevin resigned and that we're trying to, it just,
None of us knew ahead of
People
time.
still learning that.
Yeah.
That's what surprised me, and that's part of the problem of being kind of in this bubble, is that happens, and.
You have the
to me,
firsthand
it's like,
knowledge, yeah.
Everybody's gonna know this in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to find out that's not actually what happened.
right, me
Correct,
too.
yeah.
Me too. So, I guess that was just a ignorance on my
Yeah.
part, but I've been in the public eye for so many years, that, if I take a left out of work instead of a right, somebody knows where I get home, because I took the back way home,
Yeah.
so it
He
was,
gripes about it.
yeah, so, for, I suppose, we should have stated that, it came on Mr. Cahill resigned, but I just assumed that everybody knew, so.
Yeah.
Here we are, and, the 2 things I really wanted to discuss tonight was if we're gonna consider further than a 4 and any of the other candidates. I have the same feeling as, I'd feel different, at least if that other individual came and tried to
Participate.
participate and gain more knowledge so that, assuming they're gonna run again this March, that they would have a better chance of winning, and doesn't mean, but he doesn't care, doesn't mean it's bad, it just, 2 of these folks have come to us, and the other 2 are very well qualified, so.
Yeah.
I think they would serve the taxpayer as well.
I think we as a board have done our diligence in finding qualified candidates to fulfill the spot till March 24th.
Yes.
I think that's a unanimous feel, so,
Yeah,
now we.
I will not lose sleep over that.
No, I think we have 4 viable, again, this is, none of this is ideal, and all of this is uncharted for us. So, but again, I feel confident that any of the 4 could fulfill the seat, and there's gonna be struggles, there's gonna be, I don't care who we put over there, there's gonna be struggles, and there's gonna be, to try and get up to speed. I mean, we're in the middle of a collective bargaining coming up, we're in the middle of budget season, we have, the reviews of the department heads coming up in November. Not to say that there's not gonna be a hit the ground running, cause you're gonna have to, but I mean, we've got some topics coming up.
In fairness to the 4 candidates, this is my own assumption. Whoever gets here probably gonna take flack for a week, so just so that they're
Oh,
prepared
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you're probably gonna get talked about on Facebook for a week, so
Yeah.
just
They
want you to
found
know
out.
that,
Right up front.
right up front. You're somebody's friend or something, so,
Right.
I just don't wanna,
But-
it's a lot on this side, so, it's a lot to be criticized publicly, so I just want them to be aware of that, if they, Mr.
It-
Meany knows, but the other 3 probably don't.
It is the position that we signed up for. Why we did, I don't know, but here we are.
3 times.
Yeah, I am a slow learner, obviously. So like I said,
One
but
more
no.
would make a decade.
Huh?
One more term would make a
You
decade.
should run for the 1-year term.
No,
Double digits.
no. Yeah, just to make the double digits, no, I'm good. So, again, I think that, it's well within, we are well within our realm to make a solid judgment.
Not to speak,
With these
make sure
4.
speaking honestly, the last time this happened for the town of Ware, it wasn't the next candidate, it was a previous.
It was a
board
former
member.
member.
So it wasn't the next candidate in line, right? Okay. Just,
Right.
and everyone was okay with that then, so.
Yeah,
And it was about the same time of year. Mr. Mathot passed away, I believe, in October.
Was that the last
October,
time?
yeah.
October.
and that was what, 2005, 6? Maybe a little
I
later,
wasn't a plow truck
7?
plowing his road, I
I
remember.
think it's probably been a lot longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the fire department when I heard about it, so that's,
That's a lot longer than that.
I was plowing, so since 2001,
15-ish.
anyway.
But it was the same, filled it till March.
That was the last
and
time
didn't
that,
run.
that was the last time that happened?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
So they fill, people have not run after 3-year terms, but then, and not signed up, but, that was the same, get you till March, I've sat behind the table before, I'm not interested in running, similar to what Jack said. You know,
Yeah.
he was there to help, he stepped in to help.
Didn't we have another departure before the end of their term? I thought we did. Didn't,
Oh, Miss Osborne.
I thought so, yeah.
Donna?
Didn't Donna, I can't remember.
I just remember the one, cause.
I remember,
At any rate, yeah.
I
just
remember
the
Mr.
one.
Mathot.
I remember Mathot too as well, yep, so. But at any rate, back to 2023, here we are, faced with a decision. So,
What about interviewing the other 2? What's the other 3 board members' opinions? Waste of time? Should we give them 10
Well,
minutes up
I
front
mean,
after public comment?
we as the board, right, wrong, or indifferent, have interviewed them already. So we have the information.
That's fair.
And again, we are the ones that are gonna appoint. And again,
I think you hit a lot of the, I don't say memorialized, but I think you hit a lot of what you talked about
yeah,
on both candidates.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
I mean,
You
I
know,
tried to take notes, I have more upstairs, I mean, I haven't,
right, I mean, we are,
I
we,
guess just
I was
would make
not
me
surprised.
feel better where supposedly it was kinda against the rules to do it non-public. At least it would, if we chose one of those 2, they would have been interviewed in public. I
so.
don't like wasting time.
So I guess let me ask, what are we, the board members, gonna gain by having them interview there?
Just,
'Cause-
if
'cause-
not, just the simple point, if non-public was not legal, it would make it legal.
Legal, if they came in.
I can appreciate that. I tried to cover that gap, and I'm not saying it's wasted time, but, if we can,
It's kinda wasted time, however, it seems to be,
I think they performed really well in person. I think they would do it again really well.
Oh, I don't think
And
there'd
it's
be a
not
problem with them
surprise.
being up there. I
Yeah.
don't think that they would have a problem
Yeah.
coming back and doing it. It's just, again, the board has heard them.
Yeah.
And we summarized it the best we could.
And this is Monday night without adding anybody.
Right, it's already pretty
And we're
full.
probably gonna,
No, I just wanted to run it by him.
right, well, I
Yeah.
guess we, come back to that argument in a second. Is it everybody's opinion that we should elect somebody Monday night?
Give us a
You're not
weekend to
gonna be
think
here the
about
next one,
these.
I'm not gonna be, and I
Yeah.
might not be. There's 2 Mondays it's up in the air. I'm only gonna be on one, but one or the other, depends on my
And-
work.
We cannot slip past next Monday.
And not for nothing, but if one of us catches the sniffles, we can't meet.
Right.
And we can't conduct business, so we gotta make this happen.
So if we don't do it
Because
this
if you're not
time,
if you're not gonna be here in November, right, per se,
Okay.
and one of us catches the sniffles, we can't meet.
now we're pushing out 3 weeks, we're getting pretty close to that 45 days.
Right, so
Not
to me,
mention we wanna do
so to
business.
me, Monday, we
Monday's the-
really
I think Monday
have
we
to do
should
it.
do it.
Yeah.
I guess, and back to the other discussion. What about the other 2?
They're probably gonna be here. I mean, we can give them 10 minutes, but
I
just-
would,
I don't wanna,
I think it's, just running through the motions, and I'm not one who likes to be here late and waste time on nothing, but I think to rate that little tiny bit of the ship, that might be the only thing, in my opinion, we really did wrong. Other than that, I don't think anything else was wrong, and that will fix that, in my opinion.
so let me propose something.
There's 3
So-
others of you, if you disagree, then.
Yeah, so we give them 10 minutes, okay, so Naomi brought the agenda for next Monday down, so that her and I can set it. We give them 10 minutes at the beginning of the night. I think, Salem, it wouldn't hurt to reread what you read again, because obviously I don't think
Yeah.
people are prepared for
Sure.
tonight to be public.
Okay.
And then we're gonna fill the room with 5-minute public comments each. And we're gonna be here till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then we still have business to conduct. That's my thought, is I know we're, right,
We're
wrong,
gonna be here whether we interview or not.
right, but it's, so instead of getting out at 1 o'clock, we'll get out at 12:30.
Right.
Because I think that's what it sounds like that's what we're gonna be facing. Is we're gonna be, and the 5-minute, we're gonna have to stand by it, and
I
we're
thought
gonna have
we
to take
opted
it.
to go to 3.
No, we stayed at 5. We never,
Town council proposed.
town
3,
council
we-
proposed 3, but we never changed it. Yeah,
Oh,
it was 5.
sorry.
So, 20 people talk times 5, that's an hour.
Oh, I know.
And if we put 20 people in
It's
here,
an hour and a half.
huh?
It's an hour
Thank
and
you.
a half.
I went to John Stark. So, an hour and a half, and then we still have a full page to conduct. So, bring a coffee.
Is
If
there any
that-
of that that can be
And
bumped off that agenda?
we also have to talk about who we're gonna choose,
Yep.
which is gonna be a 25-plus minute conversation.
Right.
We could start talking about it now,
Oh, we can,
and
yeah.
then if we decide it's neither of those two people, then we don't even bring them back.
I hate, yeah, I agree. I hate to do that before the interview. We've talked about what we like and dislike about all 4. I kinda hate to.
Now, I
do the
know,
Informal vote if we were gonna, cause it kinda would make the rest of them feel
Well-
pointless to do it.
well, we have, the other thing that I don't think has been mentioned is Mr. Meany and Mr. Flaherty and Ms. Matthews are all on other boards right now. The only one who's not serving on board is Mr. Hood. So,
We should
they're,
have asked Mr. Meany if he'd be stepping down too.
yeah, or, yeah, because you're the
Or
ex
he'd be
officio.
the ex officio for
Right,
Benji.
right.
Oh, man.
Right. Right, so, and just one thing that hasn't been mentioned, that's all. They're all currently signed up and or serving on other boards, other than Mr. Hood.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think the finance committee could benefit from both Mr. Flaherty and Ms. Matthews' experience, to stay on there. I'd hate to see, again, they're both tenured, I'll call it, because they've served a year or two. And that, they've got some tough decisions coming up, and they're making decisions right now on who's doing what and going after what, and to throw a kink in their works. I'm not saying we shouldn't, but just one thing. And then obviously, Jack on the planning board, The only one that wouldn't cause a speed bump would be Mr. Hood. So, just a thought.
Yeah. Though the finance committee experience is a benefit to us as well.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I
yeah,
get your point on,
Yeah.
on, excuse me, procedure for that committee.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just trying to help them too, and,
Yeah.
you know, I thought anyways. So, I don't know, it just, that hadn't been mentioned yet, so I figured I'd just mention that, as
Yep.
all three of them are on something else. So,
Have they, so the finance has been chosen for this
yes,
year?
it's been seated.
Raise your right hand and
Did-
get sworn in.
Yeah, they've already been
On
sworn in.
Wednesday, the 11th. There was 8 of them. They can have up to 13. They get a couple more still coming.
When I first started, I started off on a 7-member board. It was rough with the
They
department
can have up
heads.
to
It's
13.
my understanding that people are still, and they can still
Sign
be
up.
added to that board. It's not like we will be permanently
It's
reducing
not,
them
it's
to
not
a
permanently 8,
decision.
yeah.
No.
Excuse me.
Don't get the sniffles, we won't be on 8.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just, like I said, the headman stayed, so I wanna put it out there.
I mean, obviously, I think I, for one, wish it'd been a little different. I know we all do. If we'd have thought about, had 5 more minutes to think about it, we'd have just had all 4 tonight and show, or last Monday and shows next Monday. I guess the only thing I'm hung on is, do we or do we not interview? I know it makes me feel more comfortable, but
I think it's fine.
sometimes I know we don't, I personally, when it's 11 o'clock at night, you know, my give a darn gets turned down a little, and I don't know anybody that wouldn't. Maybe that's definitely not right, but
Well, could we
Get
take
tired.
just 1 minute, and Naomi, do you mind reading what's tentative for the agenda?
Sure. So I have 6:30 call to order, pledge allegiance, and then I have public comment under the department heads. I've been asked to, by Acting Chief Rourke to which shouldn't be very long, updated property disposal list at the White Farm, and the forest fire warden appointment that was discussed Tuesday night. Denise Purington attended the Conservation Commission last night. She asked to just do a follow-up, because as an email to me, I think you were copied,
Yep.
that she's been asked to go out somewhere. She's gonna be gone. So she wanted to just do a follow-up for the East Road meeting as to what went on and kind of where we're gonna go. Then, I mean, this could wait to another night. There's 2 appointments from Conservation last night for a full member and an alternate. They could be a work session, 2-minute item.
That won't be, that's a 2-minute item.
The discussion of the property access off River Road that didn't go on the 9th that I shared with you, town
Coming.
councils, so that was there. And then we do have opening proposals for the mapping of the cemeteries and the electrical and plumbing bids. And then I have manifest, 4 sets of minutes, administrative report, correspondence, set the work agenda for for 10:30 and adjournment. So a couple things could be moved.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
None of them are
don't, you know,
huge,
the
though.
opening of the bids, there haven't
None of them
been
are
many
huge.
received.
But
Yeah.
that has to be that day, though.
Yeah, and we've said that we were gonna
Yeah.
open them. They're
Yeah.
due at 5 and open.
None of
there
those,
isn't much that's
It's
gonna knock
huge.
any time off.
no,
No.
and it's,
Probably better stick the River Road one that, if we had that packet a month, if he's coming.
yeah, if he's coming.
So that shouldn't be knocked off.
And, yeah, the response from town council
You have
seemed promising.
Yeah,
And you said Denise is leaving, so she kinda needs to come in.
Yeah, I think that was an urgency, just to give you up to date as to, and then.
I
guess
see
we
that
have to
being,
decide what we
I
wanna
see
do.
that being discussed for a while. It's the only reason I was wondering if
I
it could
can
be
see the
moved or
2
not.
things from the fire chief being small.
quick,
Yeah,
The 2 appointments,
those will be pretty quick.
those will be quick.
yeah.
The proposals will be quick. We've only got the one that we've always had, the mapping of the cemeteries.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple electrical, but I haven't seen any plumbing. So they should be fairly quick.
All right, well, I guess we ain't knocking much off.
Oh, no, not really, but it's still gonna be a long night. And then, on top of what, we're gonna have a public comment,
Yep.
Yeah.
which you know is gonna be loaded.
Well, hopefully our actions today helps.
No, it's still gonna be a loaded baked potato.
There are 33 people have tuned in and 17 are still tuned in.
Well, hello out there.
That's something that we were gonna turn the camera on.
That's gotta be a record.
I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you have a setting that once it's live stream,
Yeah.
You get a
Get a
notice.
notification, I don't know.
Yeah. That shows up on my
I
phone.
watched conservation for a
So
few minutes
there's-
last night, there was one.
Somebody just hopped on, there's 18 now.
Yeah, there was one, so. it
Word
is-
spreading.
Word spreading, yeah. Everybody's calling each other, messaging each other.
Yeah, we should open the door again.
Yeah. It's
not-
cracked
it's not
open.
shut.
Yeah.
It's not shut tight.
It's not shut, it's cracked open, yeah. Maintenance is here cleaning.
They were out vacuuming, so we shut it, so
We could talk.
Yeah, that was not a,
Yeah.
It was not done on purpose.
No,
to
so
make sure
we,
the recording wasn't screwed up with vacuum
It's
noises.
still been
Right.
going good.
It's not shut anyway, it's a it's a jar.
it's open, yeah, it's open, so. Yeah, again, if we wanna wait till Monday, it's fine, but again, it's just gonna add to the docket where he will be here late. Bring a coffee.
I think that's fine. Well, I think we have to suck it up and just do it.
It's fine.
And. yeah,
So,
I'm
I
okay
guess-
with them talking for 10 minutes if. you know,
yeah,
if that's-
5, 10 minutes, just,
I don't want it to swing inequitable the wrong way. Where we've.
Right.
I mean, to your point, we've heard them, it's not gonna add a lot, but it will add it for the people in the audience.
And that's fine, as long as we ask the same questions for the
Yep.
most part, which is
Yep.
fine.
And you're gonna do that before public comment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should.
Naomi, can you send out the minutes from that meeting when we interviewed those two, the non-publics?
are we gonna
Well,
vote at
we
the end?
agreed that we agreed to like a one-sentence thing, because I asked
They went
about
out
it.
in the 72 hours.
They've been released.
Oh, I-
And released on the website.
They're on the website.
All right.
The only
Would it
way,
be detailed? Yeah, but I think I
And-
asked what you wanted to say.
and also too, we can amend them, but
Of course. I mean, I do have some notes if you want me to take a swing at the amendment for you.
I mean, if you don't mind, that'd be a
Yeah.
helpful first step. But-
Because I've
and-
got a
and,
couple
you know,
pages, just like I was trying to jot down,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't I'm not sure.
That would be helpful, and then, like you guys said, we should be the ones to finally say, yeah, that's,
Right.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sure. Did you-
Yeah, that would not be, yeah.
That
would
way
not be
nothing's on you,
your- Like,
right.
it wouldn't fall on you
Right.
if that went sideways.
right,
yeah,
that'd be on us.
Yep.
right.
You're up to 20.
Up to 20, moving up.
Go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
Started out pretty good.
Right.
so, yeah, I mean, it's. Whatever. I mean, and then we're gonna have deliberations, obviously, I think we probably, hopefully, there's at least two of us or three of us that have the same mindset, moving into this, but, you know, we've heard from all four, and, we've heard from all four. And again, it's very clear cut in the RSA, we are the ones that decide.
Yep.
So-
Just as soon not be the ones to decide, but,
Right, but that's the way the cookie crumbles,
right,
it's
Well,
us.
in March.
March will be the.
That's the thing,
yep,
March.
We throw it back
We
in their
won't have to
hands.
decide.
Yep, we throw it back in their hands, absolutely. But, again, to the point that you're not gonna be here in November, I'm not gonna be here the end of the last week of the month. They're gonna cancel the meeting, we can't conduct business, cause two of us are gonna be gone. And we're, like I said, we're right into the middle of seasonal allergies and seasonal illnesses. If one of us catches the sniffles, we can't have business,
We're down one.
that is not the way to conduct
We're down
town
one
business.
sickness right now.
Huh?
They're getting
We're
bored.
down one.
Yeah,
But even, you know, we would, with each of you out, we would still be allowed to vote, but that doesn't feel right.
you can't
It should
hold
be the.
you can't hold a meeting, you don't even have a quorum. You need
but
three to
if-
quorum.
But if, you know, if not,
23rd.
if on the 30th, you're out and the three of us are here, we could hold a meeting, but
Right.
I don't think it'd be right to make an appointment without you here.
With all
Is what I'm
four.
getting at.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying though is in November, if we're
Sure,
still,
yeah.
and we're still in the legal window.
Yep.
If we haven't made one by November and we're both out, you guys can't meet,
Yep.
Right.
you know? So that's, to me, that's not fair to the town.
No, very good
We
point.
need to conduct business,
Right.
regardless, so the urgency is still there. And to me, the urgency is as soon as possible.
Right.
And Monday, it's only 2 days away, it's not that far, I mean, I say 2 days, 2 business days away.
Yeah.
It's not that far away, we can make it happen.
It's a long 2 days.
Oh, it's gonna be the longest 4 nights of your life, I know, right?
Yeah, now, because I'm
No,
sitting here
you've had the
thinking-
longest 4 nights of your life already, right?
I quit looking at Facebook sometime yesterday after.
You have to.
I'm just gonna delete it. That's too much.
It's too much, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So, but yeah, just, so I guess what can we, I don't, no, never mind, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Because we're gonna give them another shake over the bow.
Yep.
at the podium. So I think, you know, again, and Naomi's here, we got this, the agenda. I think we'll set it as written, with the exception of, we're gonna put, 6:30 call to order, pledge of allegiance. We'll do, your statement,
Okay.
if that's what you wanna
Do
do.
you want me to put it on there, or just this is what we're doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just,
And
you
then
know,
interview,
I don't think it'd be bad to have it on the agenda and people see.
that's what I'm
okay.
saying, yeah,
selectman statement?
appointment, vacancy appointment statement, and just put you as the Selectman Bloom. I don't I think you were very factual based on that, you know, with the exception of, I know that we have to, we're obviously the only variable in there was the discussion about changing the non-public minutes to be as detailed as public minutes. That's the only variable in there.
Yep.
So, and
Yep.
to me, that's
Which is just a
that's a work
proposal.
session topic for, you
Yep.
know,
Another time.
in down the road.
Yep.
Do you need to put the interview, or just not?
What do you mean interview? Oh, yeah, and then, so we'll do that, you can say your piece, and then we'll move down to the two 10-minute interviews. Flip a coin, I don't care who we want first, I mean, they're probably both gonna be here, so,
Yeah.
again,
But we should notify them maybe,
yep,
give them a
Yep.
quick call, somebody.
yep, if we could. Either that or just send them an email, they both seem to email.
So I have, vacancy appointment statement with Selectman Bloom, I have interview BOS candidates, and then public comment.
Correct. And then before, I guess, when do you guys want to decide? What,
point.
whereabouts in the show?
Yeah, before any of that business,
I think you would do it before.
Do you?
Yeah, do it after.
You wanna do it after public comment?
well, because, you know, we're talking, it's a lot of small items. It would not, if everything goes great and we can appoint somebody and they kind of get eased in with that agenda, I don't think that's bad.
Well, all right, so all right, so what do we think? So we do the two interviews, deliberation, I'm sorry, two interviews, public comment, and then deliberation appointment, or deliberation appointment, public comment?
I don't know.
I think
public comment first.
public comment should come first. I think so too.
Public comment, deliberation, appointment, and if that, at that point, we need to put another line in, if we make that decision,
Swear them in, yeah.
and they're there, and they sit Monday night.
Yeah, and if we're doing that, then we're notifying the two for the interview and the other two.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yep, to attend if possible.
Yep.
So I just put deliberation of appointment / swearing in,
Yes,
instead of two separate lines? Can I
Yes.
do it that way?
I would agree, that's,
We're gonna hit a two-page agenda.
yep,
I
yep.
can reduce the font.
So but I think that's probably the proper procedure is to, you know, the open pledge, your statement, two interviews, public comment, appointment, swearing in, business.
Get to it
Hit the ground running.
at 10 PM.
It is what it is,
Yeah.
All
right?
right, so Ricky, just, you,
And then the rest of it's fine.
oh, okay. Thank you.
After that, as written.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're gonna.
Would it be
you're gonna-
worth telling the couple people that are here for other business that they're still on the agenda, however,
It's
it
just
may
gonna
be
be-
late?
it's
You
gonna be a
wanna
late
tell
night.
them another
I
night?
have a
Don't rush out
phone,
of dinner.
I have a phone number for, but, so let me just, even if it saves you 5 minutes, your two reappointments, you could do that on a work session.
Yeah.
And I could
Yeah,
let
we could
them
move
know.
that to a work session.
As long as you
Yeah, and it would save those two people a lot
It
of
would
time. That's a
save
good
them,
idea.
they sat last night till almost 11
Oh, my
o'clock.
God.
Yeah, let's move that to the end. Yeah, let's,
10:30, okay. Do you want me to see if
not
Mr.,
10:30 October, right? Not 10:30 PM?
I could also, if you're interested, because you have taken a lot of policies, see if River Road would like to, because I
Get
don't
pushed
know
off.
how long you're gonna be, I mean, it
Oh, with
would,
River
I mean,
Road.
I don't wanna shove him off, but I would like to tell him, look, it could be late, what would you rather do?
Yeah,
And
if
maybe
we-
he'd
Oh,
be
make
willing
him
to-
If we make,
offer?
yeah, give him the
Make him
choice,
an
offer.
yeah.
Yeah.
If he wants
We
to
have
move,
done it.
then I guess find out tomorrow as soon as you can.
okay.
And then that way there for the posting of the, you know, if he wants to say, no, I'm not gonna be there at 10:30, then we can move him to,
I was saying 10:30 the date, October.
I know, that's what I meant. I meant, all right, he doesn't wanna be here at 10:30 PM,
Yeah, no, he won't be.
yeah.
If he didn't, would he be someone we could move to the work session, since it's,
Oh, yeah, we could,
Yeah,
well, we
do
can
the
move him to
beginning
work
of a
session.
So he comes in and he's here 10, 15 minutes and he's
Yeah.
out.
But I'm not gonna be here and neither are you, right?
Next work session?
No, it's,
You're
You
not.
won't be here, he
He's
will be
after
here.
you.
Okay, all right, so
For
you're
the
gonna, it's gonna be
30th.
yours on the next work session,
the next work session's,
It's the 30th.
is the 30th.
A week
I'm
from
not gonna be
Monday.
here.
yeah, you look at the calendar, yeah.
What's that?
I have to look at the calendar still. It's still up in the air with my work, it's a problem, so. It either be the 30th or the next. They'll be gone, so.
So
I
would
don't
you
know.
prefer, if he doesn't want to, ask him for the 6th? So you're not
Yeah.
even here the 6th, I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, I think at that point, we will still have 4 members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water,
Right.
we're gonna
So
have 4 people
You're saying give him
here.
the
Right.
choice.
Yeah, give him the choice, see what he wants to do.
Tell them we're still
It's either gonna be,
willing to meet with him, it's just, his
it's
turn is
it's gonna be
late.
22, 30 hours that he gets seen, probably, or it's gonna be, you know, another meeting. That sound reasonable to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
'cause-
So pledge allegiance, vacancy appointment statement by Selectman Bloom, interview candidates, public comment, deliberation of appointment / swearing in.
Yeah,
Then you have department head, and it may change, but I'll let everybody know in the morning and give them that choice.
Police chief wanna come in?
I sent everybody an email and he said he's all set for Monday.
Okay, all right.
Because his response to me was,
I know we had
No. I don't,
okay,
because I
We-
said, do you have anything?
yeah,
I says, no, I don't, as just looking for direction on the policy.
okay,
Because you
yeah,
talked about the,
yeah, the legal counsel,
yeah,
Reach
but
out.
there was a word for it. Oh, man, grievance.
grievance, right? So, again, I know that he had reached out kind of with a response, so I just wanna make
But
sure
I
he was all
said, do you
set.
need anything for Monday night?
Okay,
And he just said,
that's fine,
no.
I'm good. I'm good, and I think Jason's all set. I talked to him for a few minutes today.
I didn't hear from him, but.
Okay.
Okay. I can check with him, but.
Yeah, check with him just
The
to make
rest of them are
sure.
gonna have to be all set. They're gonna have to suck it up and wait till the next one. Tough.
All right, think long and hard, I guess, over the next few days. You know, I mean, it's a big piece of the pie, don't get me wrong. I don't wanna take any severity or off of it, you know, cause obviously it's a big, I think it's probably one of the, I mean, just short of the warrant and budget presentation, is probably one of the biggest things we're gonna do this year, honestly, so.
So I'm just handing down, that was not, you signed the bottom part of that, no, there's one more, and then there's people's gravel permit.
Oh, okay.
You wanna sign it.
So give it some thought, give it your number 1, number 2 candidates, cause I think that's where we're gonna be in
You signed
deliberation.
that, but they didn't have the
So.
vote sheet Monday night.
I don't want to interrupt. So I had opened with the request that the minutes for this meeting go out ASAP. Is that doable? Because I just thought it'd be good that people see this did not end up being, before they come Monday,
Yeah,
this
they-
did not end up being a non-public meeting.
I could do them this weekend if you wanted, I just sent her over 3 hours of meeting for conservation.
Yeah, so I don't think our minute taker is gonna be able to do it, not with the 3-hour Conservation Commission,
Yeah, they met
Not-
from 7:30 to 11.
not in a timely fashion.
I
it
mean,
would-
she would, as she's done, it would probably come in Monday, but just before the meeting.
Right.
I mean, I can
Yeah,
work
that was
this
a long
weekend
meet-
if
that
you
was a long
wanted to.
meeting. Oh,
If you're
Yeah.
asking me to work the weekend to get them done and get them out, it would still be Monday morning before.
Yeah, it's still gonna be Monday, that
Yeah.
doesn't
probably not-
matter then,
That's probably not
no.
worthwhile.
And tonight,
Oh,
actually,
why don't you sign the second one, cause you didn't sign
technically,
the second
tonight
one.
is till next Thursday.
Yeah, you didn't sign it
Right, and
the
that's
other
why I
night,
asked.
but you
Oh,
signed
yeah,
this one, so
I
you might as well
guess
sign
that's
this one, yeah.
How doable it would be.
All I can say is I can attempt it.
No.
Working the weekend.
No, that's fine. Don't do that.
I think it's gonna be pretty, you know, again, you can say a statement and say, I read this the other night, and maybe if you wanted to kinda take the rope and run with it as far as, this is what we did Thursday.
Okay.
You know,
You've got, it's
got that
gonna be
statement.
out there too, but, you still, it's 42 views and you still got 18 people on.
There you go.
And then,
Cable must have really lost some shows.
We signed the back page, we didn't sign the front page.
yeah, there was no front page Monday night,
Right, yeah, it was just
Yeah.
missing, so we already signed it.
and then I typed up the gravel permit, Mr. Tebow signed it and they delivered it here.
I don't think we have any other business to discuss tonight. I think we've made some progress.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
Again, I think regardless, thank you to the, and I'm gonna say it again on Monday, but thank you to all four who have, whether volunteered or asked, have stepped forward and said that they would. Again, I think the summary is that they're all viable candidates. They're all, still with their pulse on the town. And I think there's not one of them that would be a lesser candidate than the other one. So it's gonna be a difficult decision, for the board. But again, according to the RSA, it lies with the board, so.
Yeah, I think that's well said.
Yep. So like I said, I don't ever wanna do this again. I don't think my days sitting behind here are 100% over, I'll say, but not in the next term, so, nor do I wanna see this board have to go through this again, so. And with that,
Yeah, we will have set a good precedent of what not to do and then what to do.
hey, we're only human.
That's right.
We make mistakes. We do with what we think is the best at the time.
Yep.
And then we sleep on it and we decide that maybe that wasn't, so, but we
Or
still,
not
have-
sleep.
but, or not sleep. We type 3 pages at 2 in the morning. Again, at the end of the day, we're human. We do make mistakes.
We
we
really
admit it.
truly are here to try to do the best for
The town.
the town. It's-
Right, and we all bring a different aspect to it. So, like I said, none of us are lawyers, none of us are attorneys. We may play one, but we did stay at the Hampton Inn, so. But yeah, so, all right, very good. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.